All right, everybody. Monday, November 21st. It is freezing outside. I'm wearing my Carhartt. But we are sitting here with Keli Lawson, redshirt freshman from Stevens City, Virginia, via Sharonda High School. He is our athlete of the week. He notched 5 tackles, 1 sack, and 2 TFLs in this past weekend's win at Liberty. He also recorded a pick 6 versus Georgia Tech. Keli, how you doing, man? Good to see you.
I'm doing great. Good to see you too.
But not the first time he's been on the podcast. We did have Keli on the podcast back when he was a recruit early on. So first, we always start off these podcasts by asking our athlete of the week, what led you to Virginia Tech? If you want that answer, you can go back and listen to the old podcast. So I actually want to talk to you a little bit about just your transition between linebacker, wide receiver. Some people said you were playing tight end. Tell us a little bit about what you came in as and how you transformed into being a linebacker now.
Yeah. So leading up all through training, right in high school, right before I pulled up to campus, I was training on defense. That's what I was recruited as. That's what I was thinking. So it was actually the first day I was actually on campus, our moving date, where I was told like, okay, we're gonna try you at wide receiver, and that's ultimately where I ended up that whole into that next season. And you know how we have the whole coaching rotation. So when that new staff came in, I was still at receiver for a good while. I think a quarter of the way, if not halfway through spring, that's when Coach Pryor brought me into his office. He's like, "Yeah, listen, we done seen your high school tape. We really think linebacker is the position for you." And I was all for it, being that as like that's what I played all throughout high school. And since the spring, it's just been a transition. It's been a grind, trying to catch back up with what I missed being a receiver for a season, and I think it's working out.
So tell me a little bit about, I would say it's working out as well. Can you tell me a little bit about what it's been like to work with Coach Pry, who has a lengthy resume with linebackers, Coach Marv as well? How have they impacted your development both on and off the field, and especially at the linebacker position?
Um, those are two great standout men. Like in terms of away from football, they're really emphasizing bringing us up as young men, getting us prepared for the real world, and then back into a football aspect. It's very detail oriented. Like we focus on the real minute fundamentals, details, and that's just brought my game to levels like I never thought I could be able to you know what I'm trying to say.
So on that note, 2 questions. I'll start with the first one on that. What is the biggest improvement that you think you've made so far, specific to switching to linebacker?
My biggest improvement personally is just my ability to read offensive sets and be able to like trigger and actually use my athleticism. Whereas like before I'd be thinking a little too hard or playing a little hesitant due to the fact that I don't know 100% what I'm doing.
And what is that you might have just answered it, but what is the biggest goal moving forward? Whether it's something physical, whether it's something mental, whether it's lining up or anything like that. What is the biggest goal that you have as you enter into 2023?
My biggest goals are to really get up in the weight room in terms of overall weight and all that. Put on some mass, and then on top of that, really being a student of the game, really understanding football 101, 202, all throughout.
So I wanted to ask you, Saturday, great team win, defeating a solid Liberty team on the road. This year has been a big rebuild year for Tech. There have been some tough stretches. There have been growing pains. But the one constant that I've always had is I've been extremely impressed by the resiliency and the togetherness of this football team. Can you talk a little bit about those challenges this year and what kept this group together, whether it was senior leadership, coaching, a combination of the two? Just kind of dive into that a little bit.
Yeah, you actually started to dive into it. It's a little bit of all that, and it's a testament to the team as a whole. Whether that be the 6-year seniors that's really in those leadership roles, or even the new freshmen that just pulled up, it's really about all of us buying in and being a collective. Like no matter what the circumstances, because we all know what we poured into the game all throughout the off season, all throughout spring ball, summer. So even though things didn't tend to go our way, which is fairly obvious, I'm just proud of all those guys for really keeping their head clear, avoiding all the noise, because you know how social media can really get to some guys. So just knowing that bond and we're all here for each other.
And talk a little bit about the locker room. We saw some footage of it. How great was it to finally get in the locker room and have the elation of that moment? We saw this was a great game for Jalen Holston, who got in the end zone 3 times. Could have been 4 times.
Right.
Everybody's celebrating. Just kind of walk us through the emotions of that and even the bus ride home.
Honestly, it was just like it felt as though it was just a long time coming. I could tell like everyone in the locker room was just weight lifted off their shoulders because we all know the potential we could have been put out 5-6 games ago into the season. So for us to actually put 4 quarters together and play as a team and come out the way we wanted to come out, it was a beautiful thing, honestly.
So moving into the second half of the podcast here, possibly the more fun part of the podcast. This is always my favorite part. It's the rapid fire segment, but do have to say that the Sons of Saturday Athlete of the Week podcast is brought to you by Whitley's Peanuts. Whitley's Peanuts are the preferred peanut of Virginia Tech athletics. You can get them in Lane Stadium. You can get them in Castle Coliseum. They have peanut butter clusters, which would be a fantastic gift for anybody over the Christmas holiday. So head on over to whitleyspeanut.com. Use code SOS for 10% off of your first order. Again, that's code SOS for 10% off of your first order. Rapid fire questions, Kelly. What is the best Thanksgiving food?
Best Thanksgiving food, mac and cheese.
What is the worst Thanksgiving food?
Ooh, I know some people like those little potato salads and all those concoctions. Anything along those lines.
Anything along what lines? Potatoes?
Potato salad specifically. The salad.
Okay. Out on potato salad. What is the best type of pie? Or are you not in on pie at all?
I'm not big on pie, but I feel like apple pie's got to take the number 1 spot.
So if you're not big on pie, what is for dessert after Thanksgiving?
Dessert. I'm not even a dessert guy, but you can't go wrong with some ice cream.
Can't go wrong with some ice cream. And then are we second to last Thanksgiving question. Are you in or out on apple cider?
I'm in.
In on apple cider. So we modified this question. We ask everybody this. If you could invite 4 people to your Thanksgiving party, dead or alive, anybody from history, who are you inviting to break bread with you on Thanksgiving?
Ooh, that's a real tough question. 4 people? That's all I get?
4 people. You know what? We'll make it 5. We'll give you a bonus person because it's a holiday.
First and foremost, I gotta have Kobe over there, Kobe Bryant. That's who's not a fan of Kobe. Who else? Martin Luther King. That'd be a person to talk to. Let me think. You gotta have some entertainment too. I think Dave Chappelle would be funny.
Okay.
Thanksgiving table. Where we at? We're at 3?
We're at 3.
Who else? Obama, another great black leader. Gotta have him at the table. Then who else? What's one more? Fill out the whole table.
You got an entertainer. You got a president. You have a thought leader.
Thank you.
Comedian.
Right?
And an athlete.
I think that's already a solid lineup.
Okay, you're closing the doors. Nobody else is allowed.
That's a pretty great lineup in my opinion. I know I wanted one more, but I'm feeling confident in that.
So even though they weren't invited to Thanksgiving, because that's a big step, when folks are dating, meeting new people, the question is, am I invited to Thanksgiving? Am I invited to Christmas? So I do have to ask you, who is your celebrity crush, Keli Lawson?
Celebrity crush? Oh. Ooh. Celebrity crush. See, I wouldn't use the word crush.
Okay.
Rihanna, ever since a little kid, let's be honest.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Rihanna. That's a little bit of a you were a youngster when Rihanna was really on the scene.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So Rihanna, but not invited to Thanksgiving.
Not invited?
She's not invited to Thanksgiving. She's just a crush. She could be your fifth. Be your 5th guest.
She can come, of course.
Okay, all right. She's all right. Yeah, she's a late ad.
I can't say no to her.
You're right. I don't think anybody can. Favorite non-football Virginia Tech memories so far?
Favorite non-football Virginia Tech memory. I don't know. Football is a big part of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite one, probably. Oh, okay. So my freshman year, when we first got here, this is like my class when we had first moved into the OSHAC. I think that was our first dorm. We all went on a little trip to this little quarry. Friend Desmond Mahmoudi. I couldn't tell you how tall the drop was.
Yep.
I just remember him, the anticipation, just seeing him fall. I kid you not, it felt like forever. 5 seconds in the air, just straight splash.
You
That
got
was.
to make sure you do that right. If you land wrong, you're gonna have a really upset. That's not the place to belly flop. That's not the place to
Oh
fall on
yeah,
your back. Yeah.
of course not.
Quarry is a great place to stop by. What is, if you looked at the totality of this football season, what is one memory that stands out for you so far?
Of just the whole football
The
season.
whole football season. It could be camp. It could be spring ball. It can be. I'm not gonna let you do your pick six because I feel like that's.
I knew he was.
I'm not gonna let you do the
I
pick
knew it
six.
was coming. I knew it
Yeah,
was
so pick something else. Your favorite memory from the season so far. It could be a play. It could be a moment. It could be whatever you want it to be.
honestly, it's got to be coming from my first home game back in Lane and actually being able to participate and be 100% coming off an injury because that was a big dent in my overall plans for the season. But getting a step out in front of the fans in Lane Stadium, that was a great feeling, honestly.
And last one I have for you here: who is the funniest coach and the funniest player in the football?
Funniest coach is hands down Coach Cheetah. Coach Jones, oh my goodness. Sometimes in practice I have to stand away from him because it looks like I'm not focused.
What kind of funny is he? Is he like the subtle under the breath comments funny? Is he the make fun of somebody else funny? What give me like his brand of funny?
Every type of funny you can
Okay.
think. Just whatever the situation is, he's gonna find a way to make you laugh. Whether he tries to or whether he doesn't, he's just gonna make you laugh. And then funniest player, I can't say myself.
You can.
I'd say so, but second, I got to give it to Elijah Howard.
Elijah Howard. So we've gotten a lot of Taiwan Garbett over the years. So okay, we've
He's
heard
up there. He's up there.
okay.
But me personally, Elijah has me dying almost every day.
So I guess to take us out here, I want to ask you, as a fan, it's very easy to get caught up in the wins and losses. It's very
Right.
easy to kind of look at this season and think of it as a positive or negative. But if you were to speak to this fan base right now and say, look, like, here's how I feel about this staff, here's how I feel about the culture of this program, the direction we're headed, what would your message be to Hokie Nation and everybody else as Coach Pry looks to build this program?
My main point would just to be just stay patient. Just know that we're working. Everybody's pouring in, taking time away from their own personal families, pouring into the plan we got here at Virginia Tech. And then I know it's gonna be rough. Like we're gonna have rough patches, but just stick with us and we will prevail. I promise that.
Keli Lawson, wise beyond your years. Appreciate the time. Excited for you breaking out here in the back half of this season, and we're looking forward to watching this team continue to get better.
Thank you.